Taking a look at the schedule then, we will have our qualifying session, which will be taking place shortly. And then just before 9, we will be kicking off with our final race, which is going to determine who is going to be winning that €100,000 prize pool. So let's focus on FP2. What were the results like for that?
Well, FP2 is ultimately what decided the duels format and who would face who in the quarterfinals and the top 8 that would advance. And unsurprised. Well, the thing is with this grid is it's so tight. It was Freddie Rasmussen who was fastest, a 10th quicker than Marcel Chinchik. Graham Carroll 3rd, Bono House down in 5th, which was a bit of a surprise. Erhan Yovsky down in 6th position. He was going to be a front runner, but it doesn't really matter because we're into the duels now. And ultimately all that matters really is that Peter Berliak, Ellis Spezia and Ben Daly don't advance through to the duels. So they will start 9th, 10th and 11th on the grid.
This is a big one. Freddie Rasmussen versus Jarno Opmeer. What a battle this one's going to be.
This is going to be tremendous. Here is Freddie Rasmussen making his way out of the XL now and then dropping down the hill. Rasmussen is in the Porsche. Opmeer is in the Mercedes. These two fight it out in all sorts of esports categories over the years. Jarno Opmeer, 2-time F1 esports champion, but he's 0.3 of a second down on Freddie Rasmussen at the moment. Rasmussen through the final turn, gets on the power and comes across the line. And we will get the benchmark time of 21.7 for Rasmussen. That's a very, very quick lap time. Cuts the timing beam, and it is Rasmussen who goes through then. So Rasmussen is into the semi-finals. We're on board with House as he comes into the final couple of corners. Chips a little bit of time away at Freddie Rasmussen. One final corner now for House. The back end sliding a little bit. What lap time are we going to get? Will it be a 21.7? It's a 21.567. Huge lap from House, but Rasmussen is going quicker. There's a 1/10 of a second between them now. Rasmussen into the final turn. Out through the left, across the line. Who's going to be going through to the final? It is Rasmussen. By almost 0.2 of a second. It's a 21.396 from Freddie Rasmussen.
A superb lap time. Again, delivering when it mattered most. And Freddie Rasmussen, just absolutely incredible.
Now we're with Wisniewski. He's 0.4 down on Freddie Rasmussen at the moment. Nice and quick through the first hairpin, to be fair. Now he's into the chicane. Can he close the gap down a little more? Whoa. Right up to the wall, maybe brushing it a little on the exit of the chicane. We're on board here with Rasmussen. The gap is less than 0.3 of a second. It's now gone up to almost half a second. This is a big lap incoming from Rasmussen.
And is it going to be faster than that 21.3? Does it need to be? That's the big question. Comes through the final corner right now and punches it towards the line. What's it going to be?
So Rasmussen does a 21.688. Very quick lap, but Wisniewski is closing the gap. It's under a 1/4 of a second. It needs to be a huge final corner from Nikodem Wisniewski if he's going to secure pole position. Out across the line. And it's Rasmussen on pole by 0.2 of a second. Freddie Rasmussen on pole position for the first race of the evening. There will be 11 drivers on the grid, one from each team. Ben Daly will be at the back. Spezia will be alongside him in 10th place. Peter Berliak didn't make it through to the duels. Jarno Opmeer only 8th quickest. Erhan Yovsky as well in 7th place. These lap times denoted by who was the quickest loser in the quarterfinals, and that actually was Chinchik. Huis will be 3rd on the grid. Wisniewski in 2nd. Pole position for Freddie Rasmussen. Well, the race is underway. Rasmussen has held the lead, but Wisniewski has been turned around at the very start. Coming through to the right-hander of turn 4, looked as though maybe Huis got into the back of him. So we'll see whether there's going to be any penalties incoming, because we've got live stewards and post-race stewards as well. But he got turned around there, did Nikodem Wisniewski. He's therefore now at the back of the field. Rasmussen leading.
You can see their attack mode is on for Freddie Rasmussen, so yeah. Super effort.
Okay, so he has got a minute of attack mode.
Puts them under pressure also, as here we go, we've got the side-by-side, we're on board with Graham Carroll now, who's dropped back behind Jarno Opmeer, who comes out ahead of all of this. So I don't quite know how. Graham Carroll's dropped back behind Opmeer, who was behind Berliak. Now it looks like he is going to be side-by-side with Graham Carroll, at least at some point, because he's going to have to take it, he's going to have to try again, and he's missed one of his attempts. Now, if you miss all of them, as there's the look from Opmeer.
Opmeer trying to force his way past Thoman coming into the hairpin, and he does it, but Thoman returns the favour with a little nudge, and Graham Carroll says, thank you very much, I shall come through as well. A bit of contact between them. He's gone for it, and he might keep the position for 3rd place. Jarno Opmeer, they're side by side, and he's managed to stay in front. Carroll sticks the wheel in. More contact. and Otmere holds on somehow.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure about that one from Graham Carroll, kind of leaving your nose into a very tricky corner. I mean, he gave it a good effort, but he was risking spinning out Jarno Otmere right there, who gets himself into a confirmed and locked on third position. We'll see if he actually managed to get the attack mode activated now. He did indeed.
As they come down into turn 1, less than 2 minutes on the clock, Rasmussen is leading, House is second, Otmere's third. But here's Freddie Rasmussen. Lights to flag, domination from the Porsche driver across the line, and he carries on in Formula E Accelerate where he left off as the race winner in the first race of the evening. The reigning champion takes the victory. Bono House finishing in second place, and Jarno Otmere completing the podium. Big lap here for Freddie Rasmussen. How is Thoman going through the turn 16 sequence of corners? Oh, it's big.
Whoa.
There's Rasmussen surely through to the semi-finals. Yuri Thoman was right there, but he's lost a lot of time in turn 16. So out comes Rasmussen across the line, and it's a 21.619, still a quick lap, and enough to send him through to the semis.
Every single time from Freddie Rasmussen, he's so in control.
And the gap is almost 0.2 of a second at the moment. Tidy final few corners from Rasmussen should be enough to book himself a place in the final. Out across the line, he does a 21.447. Nice through the penultimate corner. Nice rotation through the final corner as well. Comes across the line, closes the gap, but not by enough. Freddie Rasmussen and Jarno Otmere will be through to the final to battle it out for pole position.
Beautiful lap at the moment from Freddie Rasmussen, and one that might well beat Jarno Otmere, but Otmere's coming stronger in this final sector.
This is going to be tight. Otmere's done well. Rasmussen into the final turn. The lap time will give us a read on how good it was. It was a 21.493, and he's built the gap a little bit more to Jarno Otmere, 0.2 of a second, a 21.627 for Jarno Otmere. Very, very quick lap time, but not enough to stop Freddie Rasmussen taking another pole position. So Petr Burliak lining up in 9th place on the grid. Nikodem Wisniewski in 8th, Yuri Thoman 7th, Graham Carroll 6th, Bono House in 5th position. He's second in the championship. He needs to make progress. Chinchik in 4th place, Erhan Yayovski 3rd for the DS Techeetah team. Jarno Otmere is the man who can stop Freddie Rasmussen. We're about to get going. The charge down towards turn 1. Away we go. Pretty decent start, and look how aggressive Rasmussen is off the line. Straight over to cover off Otmere. Otmere sends it to the outside at turn 1. Doesn't quite have the grip, does he? There's a bit of contact, but Rasmussen holds the lead. They're still side by side. Otmere knows he needs to try and get through as quickly as possible, but Rasmussen just managed to hold on to the place. Yayovski still 3rd, Chinchik still 4th. Otmere was aggressive on those opening corners, Lewis.
Yeah, got Nikodem Wisniewski trying to get past Graham Carroll here, being pushed in as well by Petr Burliak, who's just trying to force his way through in that Envision racing car, all on the rear end of Yuri Thoman as they head through T9 and onto the back stretch and leave it till quite late.
Oh, and Rasmussen's going early, and is he going to take the lead? He is not. That was so tight between them, and around the outside goes Otmere, and he can't get it done. Rasmussen with a second advantage manages to hold the lead after activating attack mode, and that's big for his championship hopes. There goes Otmere through attack mode, and he manages to keep the place. It's an interesting attack mode here because you get quite a lot of speed off the corner. Even though you go wide, you sort of rejoin the track with more momentum. Back on board again with Jarno Otmere, chasing down Freddie Rasmussen as we come up, slip east and back into the XL again. 3 minutes to go. Freddie Rasmussen leading, 1.1 seconds ahead. At the moment, fastest lap is Freddie Rasmussen, a 1 minute 23.436. So that would be another. Can he get a clean sweep this evening, Rasmussen? 3 points for pole, 25 points for both wins, and a point for both fastest laps. I mean, here we go then, 1 lap to go in the London E-Prix Accelerate competition. Freddie Rasmussen, if he holds on to take the win, even if he finishes in the podium places, will win the title and the 35,000 euros that comes with it. Otmere is right behind him though, still has the chance to win if he's able to get ahead of Rasmussen and then something befalls Rasmussen in this final lap. Otmere onto the brakes, has a big slide coming into that final right-hander. They're going to squabble it out for second place, but there's no squabbling for the race win. Freddie Rasmussen won the first season of Formula E Accelerate a couple of years ago, and now with an absolutely dominant performance, 2 pole positions, 2 fastest laps and 2 race wins, Freddie Rasmussen through the final corner wins again in London and wins Formula E Accelerate 2022 with yet another victory from this dominant Dane. Less than a second ahead of Otmir in the end. Yujovski chased him all the way as well. But 2 wins for Freddie Rasmussen. The man is unstoppable.